everyone. We are here to talk about something we know is probably either coming up for you or you're already in the thick of it. And that's parent teacher conferences. So if you do not know who us three are, I'm happy to introduce myself and I'll pass it along to Danielle and Stacy to introduce themselves. But my name is Sam Hall and I'm the content and product marketing manager at ClassTag. I did come from virtual learning and teaching and hybrid for 5 years. So hopefully if you are a virtual teacher or maybe you're stuck doing remote, I can offer some advice. But if not, we do have our lovely Stacy and I will pass it over to you and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Stacy Hortz and I'm a teacher currently and one of the lead advisors for ClassTag. So I teach every day, but I also do what I can to help. Danielle?
Hi, I'm Danielle. I am a former educator. I work for ClassTag now for 2.5 years, and I'm a customer success manager. So I work with schools and districts that use ClassTag Connect. And I'm excited to walk you through how to set up parent-teacher conferences because I've actually used the ClassTag parent-teacher conferences when I was using ClassTag. So welcome, everyone.
And for those of you that are joining us, drop in the comments who you are, where you're from. We love hearing about you. If you have any questions about parent-teacher conferences that are not even ClassTag related, that's why we're here. We're here to help if you're doing like student-led conferences. If you're doing, my daughter has autism, so she has IEPs. So, what to ask teachers or what kind of information to bring, what to have parents bring to the conference. Hopefully we can offer you something of help. But we're going to start out with the basics, and I'm going to turn it over to Danielle to walk you through how to set up a parent-teacher conference on ClassTag and explain why you would want to do it and what makes it easy. So Danielle, I will pass it over to you.
So I don't know if you know, well, everyone should know this. It's the first day of fall. So I actually changed my classroom to the fall theme. Just a quick note before we get started, if you are using ClassTag Plus in your settings, you can change your theme to autumn so that you can celebrate along with us.
And a sneak peek for those who are joining, this is like the advantage of joining. We will be having Halloween themes come out pretty here, hopefully within the next week or two. So you can make it even bring it, get your Halloween spirit going. And Danielle, I'm glad you walked them through it. And if you don't want to pay for ClassTag Plus, that's totally fine. All you have to do is refer a friend. So super easy. Danielle, go ahead. We do have a quick question. Can parents receive this stuff as well, or just teachers? Katrina, if you're wondering about parent-teacher conferences, Danielle will walk you through not only what you can do as a teacher, but what parents are actually going to see as well.
Yeah, and that's important too, to know what parents are seeing. So when you set it up, you can support parents who need a little bit more support signing up for parent-teacher conferences. So to get started, when you're in your ClassTag page, you're going to click the orange plus sign at the top right-hand corner of your screen. And at the bottom, you'll see a section that says parent-teacher conference. You can either add on to one that you have existing or create a new one. You'll find the days or the rolling days that your parent-teacher conference will span over. So for today, I will do Monday the 27th. So what's nice is that once you set your interval, it will mimic it. So I'm going to create a couple, click continue. And again, you can go over multiple days or weeks. You can add up to 52. I'm not sure if you'll have 52 slots you'll have to create, but it's really nice knowing that you have that many slots you can create. So you can use our pre-filled title, or you can change up what your title says. What I like to let teachers know is that it's good to put as much detail as you can in the title of your parent-teacher conferences. Maybe it's the title, the date, the day, or the date span, and the time, just so they know off the top of their head when it's going to be, and it'll stick in their mind longer than having to look at the details in addition to all the time slots. If you are a teacher who has uses Google Meet at their school, you can click Google Meet. This is a great option if you are holding your parent-teacher conferences virtual. All you need is a Gmail to attach your Google Meet, and parents can sign in to the meeting regardless if they have Gmail or not. So I highly suggest that you provide this as an option if you're virtual, because as I'll show you, it will actually create a specific Google Meet link for every single parent. So you don't have to worry about parents popping into the same time. You can click preview, review your slots, select done. Here it'll present you with two options. You can select I'm done, and it will pop this parent-teacher conference into your activities tab, but I always suggest that you announce it. And even if you're creating this parent-teacher conference for the first week in November or later, you can always announce it to go out a few weeks before your parent-teacher conference is set to go live. When I was using parent-teacher conference as a teacher, I always had it set to go 3 to 4 weeks before. So I ensured that every single family had a slot to sign up for, because you'll get families that'll be eager and know the time they want to meet and may have more conflicting times for their busy schedule. And then also you can also sign up parents yourself, which I'll show you. So
Danielle, can you hold on this screen right here? And I think there's something cool to point out, which is to add the photo, video. What kind of like documents would you put there? I know as an educator, I always had like a kind of like a, not an intake form, but kind of like a, like tell me about your kid likes at home, and like tell me about your kid at home kind of thing. But Stacy, do you have any specific like thing that you would put here, or do you do student-led portfolios or anything like that?
I think something really great to put there for me would be a Google form, kind of asking the parent, like you said, like, tell me about your kid, tell me what they like to do. And maybe even tell me some concerns you have about your child or things you want to discuss. Because usually parents have some things they want to talk about when they come. So knowing that ahead of time will help me prepare to know what they want to address. And then I might also put, kind of if I have an agenda of what we want to talk about, or if I want to talk about something specific, maybe it's about like our classroom culture, because we're a Capturing Kids Hearts campus. So we do like a theme every month. Maybe I attach that so they know ahead of time, like what this is, because not all those parents are familiar with that program. So giving them that material before so they understand when we're talking, it makes it a little bit easier. But I mean, you could put anything, maybe an introduction video. Hi, this is me. This is my face. So, they kind of get to know you before they actually meet you for the first time.
I know. And I've seen like a lot of people are having open houses right now, and maybe, some schools do parent-teacher conferences instead of open houses or whatever. This is a good time to say, hey, if you haven't met me yet, this is your teacher for the year. You're stuck with me. I always like to make a joke of it when I was a teacher. Sorry about that, Danielle. And I'm just going to answer a real quick question, and then I will turn it back over. But Katrina, I hope I was able to answer your question. Parents can contribute to their teachers' classroom supplies. We don't have it set up to where parents receive supplies, but they can purchase supplies through ClassTag, and you should get an email talking about some things you can get throughout the month that might help educate your kid at home, or help enrich at home some just like materials. I think one went out actually in the last week or so. So hopefully that helps. And you can purchase supplies through like a teacher supply, whatever your teacher needs, and send it in the same way through ClassTag. So Danielle, I'll pass it back over to you.
Thank you. And I wanted to add on to what you and Stacy were saying is that to another way that you can prepare for parent-teacher conferences is use the backpack feature. So that is a place you can compile all the resources for the meeting. And especially if you're virtual, the parent can pull up their ClassTag account and access the folder while you're looking at it as well, so that you have everything you need for that meeting. Because it can be a little bit harder when you're virtual to have like the student's portfolio and all the stuff that they've worked on. But if you've prepared it beforehand, it becomes easy to be accessed. So moving back to your parent-teacher conference, once you've put in your title and your message, again, I highly suggest you put in your announcement for this parent-teacher conference to send out at least 3 to 4 weeks before, so you can ensure all your families are connected. When you're done, you can click preview, and you'll always be able to see what it looks like by email as well as an SMS preview. And for our families that are connected by SMS preview, meaning they're receiving a text message with a snippet of what you're sending and then a link to view it on ClassTag, this is why it's best to be as detailed as possible so that your families know that this is important. It's something they have to sign up for. So I'm going to select send later, and here is my parent-teacher conference. So I have created 5 slots. You can see how many families have read it over the ones who have not read it. And then when parents access their ClassTag account and they're on the platform, this is exactly what they'll see on their end. So they can go and select the time that they want to meet with you, and it will automatically add them to that slot. It will show families that other slots are filled. It won't let them know who signed up. But as a teacher, what's really nice is if a parent tells you in passing, you can easily go and assign them. And so now right here, Danielle Figese is meeting with me Monday, September 27th from 8 to 8:30. And that is the specific Google Meet link that I will use, as well as Danielle Figese will use to connect to the meeting. And now if I look at my Google Calendar,
and I know this is one of the feature faves, for those of you that are maybe having to do this remote, because I don't know about you guys, but Stacey, I don't know how school is going, or Jasmine. I know Jasmine just hopped on. I don't know about you guys, but to get on my daughter's school property, like, you have to be masked up. You have to have a reason. You cannot go back to see the teacher. Like, they are very strict. So having a virtual conference is a real solution to that, and really good face-to-face time without having to do all that weird coordination. Like, what's the link I go to? What's the no questions asked? It automatically syncs with Google Calendar and gives you an automatic meet link. And even Danielle's going to be able to show you that too.
Hey, yeah. Can I interrupt real fast? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's good.
We've actually, before the first time we did virtual parent-teacher conferences, it was not on ClassTag, and it was a disaster for that exact reason. Like, parents didn't get the email with the link to the meet. And so, like, it was just a mess. And that's what I love about using ClassTag, is it does it for you. Like, it puts it on their calendar, and I don't have to worry about trying to email it, and then they don't get the email, or they can't find the email. It just makes it so much more convenient.
I can see Jasmine being like, me too.
I'm still a teacher hand, It's funny, I had my back to school night last night, and we used this for my parents in order for them to come on and meet with me. But yeah, the protocol in my school is the same as you explained it, is parents can't talk to me while they're lining up the students. They're not allowed to have a conference with me. And it's funny, our principal actually did an announcement today and said, teachers, you are not outside to talk to any parents. You're lining the students up. And if you need to have a conference, schedule it. And in my parent-teacher conference last night, or back to school, I showed them this, and I explained it to them that even for report card tonight, this is going to be the same thing. So yeah, and I love the fact that it goes into my Google Calendar. I live for my Google Calendar.
Danielle, do you live for your Google Calendar too? Sorry.
What did you say, Sam?
I said, do you live for your Google Calendar too? Because I know I do.
Oh yeah, I mean, my phone has like if you have an iPhone, I have like a specific widget. You probably won't see it. That's like my calendar, so I'm always looking at it, regardless where I am.
I do too. I have like the month calendar view on my phone. It's like it's a whole block.
Yeah. And to Jasmine's point, you can set up conferences for welcome calls. So this is an example of using parent-teacher conference for welcome calls. And so this can be rolling over, like this was a past one from August 23rd for a week, but you can set them for office hours. So maybe it's every morning from 8 to 8:15, you set up your office hours through a parent-teacher conference. And so parents can just sign up whenever they're available or have a question and meet with you, since unfortunately they can't talk to you at pickup or drop off anymore.
Yeah, when I was a virtual teacher, we had one day a week, we were required to have like an office hours set, right? Like where parents and kids could just come in and talk with us. And this is like the perfect solution to that, because you can coordinate that without all the confusion. And parents, and you can, I love that as teachers, you can create the slots that work for you instead of it just being randomly selected. I know sometimes parents don't respect boundaries, and this is a good way to kind of be like, hey, listen, I'm willing to give time, but at this time. And Danielle, is there anything else you'd like to show on parent-teacher conferences, or maybe even walk through a little bit of the library, because I know that you were mentioning that before.
Yeah, so if you wanted to access your parent-teacher conferences that you've created, so it will be in your feed. And once it's posted, it goes in chronological order by date. So the newest things that are created will be on the top. So if you want families to make sure that they're always viewing it, you can pin it. So you can have up to 3 pins. So that's why I pinned my welcome calls. And then you can also access activities. So activities are anything created on ClassTag with a date or time. So that's event, volunteer request, to-do item, and parent-teacher conference. So you can view it in a calendar format of everything that's coming up. And this is really nice for families, just so they can stay up to date on what's happening. And it lets them know what they're already committed to or things that are available for them to sign up for. So I will go to the library. So in the library, like I mentioned, every student in your class has a backpack, and this backpack is a private two-way folder for both the teacher, co-teachers, and any family member that's connected to a student to access this folder. And so families can upload resources as well as parents. You can create specific folders in here. And what I like is that if I'm a parent and a teacher uploads something, I get notified. So I don't have to go to the platform to know that something's been uploaded. And likewise, when a parent uploads something, teachers get a summary email on the hour of all of the backpacks that have new resources. And if nothing's been posted, don't worry. There's not an extra email or anything. So it really allows you to prioritize the folders that have information. So you can easily use this as a way to compile student work or goal setting, anything for IEPs that you need, you could put it in there for families to reference.
And for those of you that maybe are just joining us or didn't get don't know who Jasmine is, I do want to introduce her real quick. She is one of our lead advisors with Stacy. And as you know, as teachers, it's crazy right now. So that's, I'm sure, Jasmine, you were probably like doing something for school. But we did ask a question that I thought you might have really good input on, especially as a kindergarten teacher, is that as an educator, I would always ask parents to do like an intake form. And Stacy, I loved your idea, the Google Forms. I should have done that. Like looking back, that's like the best way to do it. But do you have parents fill out anything before you meet with them, or do you maybe put like exit, parent-teacher conference notes in there? What kind of method do you use for parent-teacher conferences?
So what I've done for my note for the parent-teacher conference is I like to send them a summary of all the key points that we discuss. And if it's like back to school night, like last night, all I was doing is going through our daily operations. You know, what does it look like in a day in Miss McTay's classroom, you know? And I touched on important things, like the most hardest thing right now is not allowed to eat snack um, in school. So snack time has been removed completely.
Ooh.
And now the parents are kind of upset about it because it's like, well, 11 o'clock they have lunch, breakfast, then what's next? Like they can't eat anything till 3 o'clock when they're home, or they go to what's it called? Aftercare. So I do a summary of what we discuss in case any parents miss. Then for report card tonight, I jot and write down a separate notebook every parent that I spoke to, everything that we discussed, and then I send them in their backpack a summary of our conversation in case they forget. Let's say little Judy Bean needs help with her letter formation. So I will make sure I put that in the backpack, but I also include maybe a helpful tip, a printable that they can use to print out, or a way of making an activity folder for home.
That's awesome.
So those are some of the things. I've also had parents, and those of you that are out there as teachers, if you have anything with custody, where there's parents that are sharing time with their children, what I've done is any documents that I send home to sign, permission slips, I actually scan it through and I make sure both parents get it. And then should, let's say they're sick. One thing I told the parents last night, if you're sick, if your child is sick and you can't get me that note, upload that note into the backpack and I will get it to whoever needs it, the nurse or the attendance officer. So that's how I utilize my backpacks for now, currently, during this time.
That's
it
awesome.
changes, day to day, time to time, whatever the situation is.
Right, whatever your needs are at the time. And if you're listening to this, maybe not while we're live and you're listening to it tomorrow, we do keep an eye on comments. So feel free to ask comments or, ask a question. I know Stacy and Jasmine get really excited. So, leave a comment. Tell us how are you doing your parent-teacher conferences this year? We'd love hearing about what you guys are doing in the classroom. Any closing notes, guys?
I was thinking of another way to use these conferences would be a great way to set up tutoring sessions.
Oh, yeah.
For kids that need them, because, at middle school level, the kids can't drive themselves. So the parents have to bring them. So I could set up tutoring sessions and parents could sign up for the one that they want to make sure their kid comes to. And that way they can, make sure that the kid is signed up and I can make sure the parent knows, because that's a lot of the problem is the kid will be like, okay, I'm going to be there after school. And then the next day, well, I forgot to tell my mom and she picked me up. It just kind of opens that communication and gets those kids the help that they need in a convenient way that everybody can see on their calendar.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. I know a lot of our teachers use parent-teacher conferences for other things besides parent-teacher conferences. Just because it says parent-teacher conference does not mean that you need to use it that way. You can use it like Stacy uses it for tutoring. That's like an amazing idea. I know teachers were using it for the beginning of the year as like welcome calls, like, hey, I want to get to know you before we get into the classroom. You don't have to use it for what it was intended. I know as teachers, we like to be resourceful and hack things and make them work for us. So feel free, that's what it's there for. Danielle, any closing comments?
Only that if you wanted to get your Google Calendar set up, you would click on the 3 lines and go to account settings. And you would go to, this has changed a little bit.
Yeah, Danielle, I don't know, but our settings have changed and hopefully teachers, you find them, they're more consolidated. So hopefully it helps a little bit.
Yeah, I should have looked before we met.
We learn, I love for those of you that don't know, Danielle is like our products like expert. She's amazing. And we have been slowly working on our UI, UX experience and how you get through class tag. And one of them is settings that we've been working on.
Yeah, it's actually even clearer than it was before. I just didn't read it all. So under integrations, you'll see Google Services, and this is where you can connect your Google Calendar. But also if when you're creating parent-teacher conferences for the first time, it will prompt you when you create them to connect your Google Calendar and Google Meet, which is nice.
And like I said, teachers, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. We will monitor, 24 hours when passed and make sure you get answers that you need. And until next time, we hope you have a great day, and please take a mental health day if you need to and chill, because I know teachers it's rough. We know it's rough, and I hope it's gets easier as the year goes on, but we hope you have a good one, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.